How did I meet X? Okay, so I was his fan back when I was in high school, and I graduated in 2016, so that tells you enough. Like, I was his fan for a long time. Like, before Look at Me had 1 million plays, like, before any of that. I knew the producer of Look at Me before I knew who he was, and he was starting this music label. And I wanted to, like, when I was in high school, I really wanted to work in music, because I was like, okay, like, I like making music, right? And I can write really well, but it's really hard for me to find beats, so maybe that's just a sign that I'm not meant to make music, and I should just work as the business side of it, because I was really good at marketing. Like, I excelled very well in marketing and, like, business and, like, those classes. And so I asked him if I could, like, work for his label, and he made me his personal assistant. And then he showed me Look at Me and all this music from X, like, the person he was, like, producing for. And I fell in love with that song, right? As soon as I heard it, and I showed all these people, and everyone I showed, like, loved it, but their first reaction was, like, is this Lil Uzi? Head ass. And then I showed them Ski, and, like, no one likes Ski as much, which is super lame because you need to appreciate him. His voice is, like, super different. Okay, backtracking, though. So yeah, I was just listening to his music, then I dug deeper and deeper into it, and one day I sat there, and I just played every single song ever on his SoundCloud, and I was just like, I just felt really connected to him, and I felt like this person was meant to be in my life. So I messaged him, and I was like, hey, and then he replied. He was just like, hey, and then we talked. Then he went to jail for stabbing his manager, and then he came out, and we were like, hey. He was like, hey, and then we talked, but then other stuff happened, and then he went back to jail. And then he got out of jail, and then I saw he was out of jail, right? And then I was like, oh my god, I need to fucking meet him. I finally need to meet him. Like, I need to meet him before he goes back to jail again forever. And so my friend Sabrina at the time, me and her were like, fuck it. So we flew down to Florida, and we were trying to get a hold of him, but he was so famous and so popular by then. I knew he wasn't seeing my DMs, and, like, we didn't have each other's, like, numbers, because, like, I don't know, I never felt comfortable to ask, and he never asked me. Like with Jared, he just, like, gave me his number, and so, like, you know, I feel weird asking boys for their numbers. And so I went down there, and I told him I flew out of Chicago. It's like, I'm in Florida, like, I'm in Miami, like, I want to see you. And then he was like, okay, where are you at? And I told him, and he was like, what's your number? And so he FaceTimed me, and then he was like, okay, you're not that far. He's like, I'm going to Uber you over. And then he had me and Sabrina sleep over. And then we sat there at the computer playing, like, emo throwbacks, because he was, like, a little emo boy just like me. And we were playing, like, Pierce the Veil and, like, A Day to Remember and Never Shout Never and Blood on the Dance Floor. And we were just being, like, emo sad boys. Playing Paramore and, like, just, you know, dark, depressed. No one loves me. And then the next day we were supposed to leave, right? But it's like we had such a good time that he, like, had us stay, like, another day, and it was, like, really special. And, like, he took me outside to, like, talk, and I was just sad. I was like, I'm never gonna see you again. Little did I know. And that's how we met. This person says hi, Mike.432. Hey, can you get your boy to call me on FaceTime once just so I can talk to my idol? See, I feel bad because I know that would make people's days, but it's like so many people ask this. Like, if he FaceTimed every single person that asked, that would be like his full-time job. So I can't. I'm sorry.
Here's an investment.
Someone said, would you ever do a meet and greet? Not right now.
She's all over the place too, so you're bound to run into her.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. So, how's my relationship with my family members? My family's really small, because
You're amazing.
yeah, they're really great. Like, my mom's really great. My mom is, like, kind of like one.
She adopted me, not like literally, but she took me in when we were kids and treated me like my own.
She would feed Ashley. Like, Ashley's fridge used to have, like, no food, and she would just come over after school and, like, eat all the groceries and then go home.
Because when we were kids, her school was, like a block away from our middle school and our grade school, so we would walk over after school, or we live, like, 5 minutes apart. Well, her old house, we, like, were 5 minutes apart, and I would just ride my bike over there all the time and just steal food and, like, live at her house. And her Mimi would feed me because they lived around the block, and her family is amazing.
Yeah, that's like half my family though. My other half is in Mexico. Okay. What's the weirdest trip you've ever had? I don't know if you mean like vacation or
Like
the weird.
acid trip.
I've never had a weird acid trip. I mean, I guess every psychedelic trip is in quotes weird, but I don't know. It's not weird to me.
Don't
I
take
like
your
it.
advice on taking drugs either.
I love acid. That's my favorite drug, but please don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I never done it.
What would you want to see in the community? I think they mean the music community. In the music scene, I'd really like to see everybody just like love each other and accept each other and support each other. Like, so many rappers are so jealous of each other because it's a competition and they just tear each other down, and honestly that just makes you guys look really bitter and insecure, and you guys would thrive a lot more if you worked together and had positive energy instead of just bringing this terrible negative energy everywhere you go, because that just pulls you down and everyone else, and it's like a bad look and it sucks.
Real talk.
Okay, do you have any pets? I used to, but now that I don't live with my mom anymore, so no, not really. But in high school, I bought a couple cats.
And you had a dog.
Yeah, but
Peanut.
he sucks. That's
named
not my
him.
dog. She did name him. That's my mom's dog. That's not my pet.
And
My
dog.
ex-boyfriend gave me a cat, and then I bought a cat, so I have 2 cats. One of my cats' his name is Cobain. You know, Kurt Cobain, because I'm a loser. His name is Cobain. Then my other cat's name is Baby, because he just screams and cries all the time. He's so fat. All he wants is food, so his name's Baby. What was your relationship with Ja before and after? Like, did y'all date? Where did y'all meet? But no, we didn't date. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, we kind of talked, but not for real.
You guys were more friends than anything.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we were friends. You know, like, we kind of had our little thing, but that ended really shortly. So we were just friends, and then after, like, that little phase, I ended up working for him. And, like, he paid me, and then I, like, lived with him, and I was just his assistant, and it was really cool. And then we had a cool relationship, and he was really awesome for the most part. We met in Broward. We met in Florida. And it said, how did XXXTentacion's death impact you? When I first seen it, I didn't believe it at all. I remember I was talking to Geneva and I was talking to Ski, and I was like, there's no way, he's gonna make it, because it's like he's been through so many things in his life that should have killed him, and he didn't die, and it's like, this isn't gonna stop him. Like, it should, but it won't. But then 10 minutes later, it came that it was, and it's like, I didn't even cry at first. Like, it didn't even feel real. I was like, I don't know, it didn't faze me. But then a few hours later, I was just like, no, like, he's dead, like, he's gone. And it's like, we were on, like, bad terms at the time, and it's like, my pride was, like, too strong to even apologize, even though I had his number. And it's just, like, that's kind of what bothered me the most. And then I had, like, a panic attack / mental breakdown. I just, like, cried by myself for probably, like, 6 hours straight. And Jared wasn't, like, there. He was doing, like, interviews and, like, meetings. And I was just, like, completely by myself in LA with, like, no money, no transportation, no friends, no family. And it really sucked. Where's your hometown? Livonia, Michigan. Says, when will your next single drop? I started recording music again with my friend Laderick. He's really talented. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He produced a little bit for Lil Peep. But I don't want to drop a single until I feel like I have a really, like, perfect song. Like, I've been recording, but it's like, I don't feel like they're good enough to put out. Like, my SoundCloud, I kind of want to rebrand everything and only leave 2 or 3 songs up and just kind of start over and, like, only post really good music. Like, I want to record, like, 200 songs and then choose, like, the best 5.